Flower needs sun and air and a little rain shower. sun and air and a little rain shower. Roots, stems, leaves, flower needs sun and air and a little rain shower. Roots, stems, leaves, flower needs sun and air and a little rain shower. Roots, stems, leaves, flower needs sun and air and a little rain shower. We start with a tiny seed in the ground, buried in the dirt, roots can be found. The roots get water and form a base. The roots will hold the plant in place. The stem holds the plant up straight and tall. It helps make sure the plant doesn't fall. The stem carries water up from the dirt. The stem helps keep the plant alert. Roots, stems, leaves, flower needs sun and air and a little rain shower. Roots, stems, leaves, flower needs sun and air and a little rain shower. The leaves are not just there for show. The leaves will work to help the plant grow. They take in the sunlight and make it sweet. The leaves make food for the plant to eat. The colorful flower is so very bright. The bees will stop and rest in their flight. They
Kevin. Okay, 1 minute.
Do you want to just give me a quick call up for the announcement about the meeting?
I'm just trying to, whoops. Yeah. I'll do it with,
Yeah, we were just talking.
Okay, so.
Announce it.
Yeah.
Now, we'd like to be next week.
Fine.
Second week. Okay, and I think Sharon already knows about that idea because we talked about it.
Okay, all right, fine. So she should be there. Okay.
good morning. Everybody seems to have found their seat, so I'll leave that one. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. My name is Connie Quirk, and I am the service leader of the day. Our minister is Reverend Stephen Robinson. We do have 2 announcements. One is that the playground is completely open now. And second, Kevin McKinney.
Just a quick notice that due to the meeting after service today, the congregational conversation, we will not be having the joint meeting that would be regularly taking place for Green Team and Social Action. So we will attempt to hold that next week instead. So watch out in the e-blast for that.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Our services are streamed on YouTube and Zoom, but no matter how you choose to join us, you are always welcome. For more about UUCC, please visit our website at uucolumbia.org and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We welcome families with children. Today, children and youth are invited to bring the toys and books found at the back of the social hall to their seats while they stay in service with their parents. So today, children will stay in service. For infants and children to the age 5, we do provide childcare, and we'd love to have more childcare volunteers. Paid positions are also available. Now, please stand for the prelude.
No, you can all be seated.
Oh, okay.
Good job following
I take that back.
So, I invite our UUCC Junior Choir forward to sing I Love the Mountains. We have one more little one that's going to come up and join us.
Thank you to the children's choir. What a great way to start our Earth Day service. So if everyone would please rise in body or in spirit and join me in the congregational covenant in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Please be seated. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is based on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, which means that we don't have to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We side with love, embracing and welcoming all people. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and comments. Board members may be recognized by their green name tags. Now we would like to recognize any guests or visitors who are here today. So visitors, please wait for the microphone to come around. Lucille and Artemis Ureta will be taking it around, the microphone around.
This is my friend Peter. He's visiting from Montreat in North Carolina.
Welcome,
So
Peter.
I just came from the mountains, and I appreciate that song. So I was a founding member of the Unitarian Church in Black Mountain, but sadly, I'm a lapsed Unitarian.
Hello, my name is Alexis. I'm very excited to be here today.
I think that's all the guests. If you want to put the mic back. And visitors, if you would like to know more about the congregation here in Columbia, just fill out a visitor's card found in the back of the chair in front of you. Place it in the collection plate, and we will email you about our upcoming events. Our chalice lighters today are Lucille and Artemis Ureta. Yeah, again. You're next. Spirit of light and life, come unto us.
Our opening hymn is in your teal hymnal, number 1068, Rising Green. I invite you to stand as you're willing and able. My blood doth rise in the roots of yon oak. Her sap doth run in my
may be seated. Welcome to our Earth Day celebration here at the UUCC. As Earth Day is upon us tomorrow, we always take this opportunity before Earth Day to have an emphasis in our service. A couple of years ago, as we were coming out of the COVID lockdown, we actually had a service outside. And so I mentioned in worship committee a few months ago, what if we did that again? And I think Linda Brennison is our chair of our worship committee. She said, what if it's raining? So if you need any other predictions or prophecies, Linda will be in a booth back there for a $5 donation. She will predict what's happening 6 months from now. But obviously, if we were outside in the rain, hopefully we would find that that is just as important as the sunny days to what we want and experience and feel this connection to our earth around us. For our opening words today, I share a poem by Jane Yolen, and it's entitled Earth Day. And she writes, I am the earth, and the earth is me. Each blade of grass, each honey tree, each bit of mud and stick and stone is blood and muscle, skin and bone. And just as I need every bit of me to make my body fit, so earth needs grass and stone and tree and things that grow here naturally. That's why we celebrate this day. That's why across the world we say, as long as life, as dear as free, I am the earth, and the earth is me. We're going to invite the kids back down for the story for all ages, and Amelia is going to share a story with them. So if you're not coming from the back and would like to join us down front, please do so.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys? So, I wanted to ask you guys, what day are we celebrating today that it happens tomorrow? Do you know what day tomorrow is? It's Sunday today, yeah. Monday's tomorrow. Tomorrow is a day we call Earth Day. And I wanted to read a book about Earth Day and how Earth Day became a thing. So this book is called Black Beach, and we're gonna read it today. So, Sam was in her favorite class, drawing a picture of her favorite place when the principal came in and whispered in the teacher's ear. Sam's teacher frowned, and she walked over to the window and stared out at the sea. What did the principal say? What was her teacher looking for? Back home, Sam's parents told her something terrible had happened. Union Oil had caused an oil spill when they were removing a drill from the ocean floor. Oil was now gushing up into the Santa Barbara Channel. Do you see all that black stuff in the ocean? Yeah. Her mother called it a blowout, like a cap had popped off a shaken bottle of soda and couldn't be put back on. So all that oil was getting into the water. 3 days later, the thick, dark oil started to wash ashore. When Sam went down to see, she was anxious. What would her favorite place look like now? With each step, she could feel the weight of her worry. It was even worse than she had feared. The beach was black. The ocean was black. The sparkling waves that used to crash down, whoosh up, and tickle Sam's toes were silent. All she could hear was slop, slop, slop. That looks nasty, doesn't it? The whole town looked for ways to help, but no one really knew how. Even though offshore drilling was extremely risky, Union Oil hadn't prepared for a disaster like this. So the people of Santa Barbara did what they could to make things better. Sam's father joined a group of fishermen throwing straw into the sea to sop up the oil. Sam's mother and other volunteers used towels to pick up seabirds stranded on the beach. Their feathers were coated in oil and they weren't able to fly anymore. Sam felt helpless. All she could do was sit back and watch. At night, the news broadcast scenes from the Santa Barbara Channel. Millions of people across the country tuned in. No one had ever seen anything like this before. Oil continued to seep into the ocean. Whenever Sam thought about it, she got sad. But then her sadness turned to anger. What had happened to her beautiful favorite place, to the birds and the beach and the blue sea wasn't right. Sam was done sitting back and watching. It was time to stand up. She and her friends filled bottles with oil from the beach and mailed them to politicians. If the people in power saw what had happened, then maybe they would work to prevent it from ever happening again. News of the oil spill continued to grow, and more people started paying attention. Even President Nixon came on a helicopter to see. Back in Washington, D.C., Senator Nelson hired an eager young team to begin organizing a national day of environmental celebration and protest. It would be called Earth Day. Their goal was to create a grassroots movement and have local communities share the environmental issues that mattered most to them. If enough people participated, politicians would have to start paying attention to the needs of our planet. Soon, news of the event reached school children and their teachers, and they began to prepare their own activities for Earth Day. When April 22nd, 1970 finally arrived, Sam's school put on a giant Earth Day assembly. Everyone brought a can to recycle and gathered outside to learn about the benefits of beekeeping and the environmental harm caused by the insect-killing chemical DDT. At thousands of schools across the country, children spent the day talking about environmental problems and what could be done to make them better. The more Sam learned, the more powerful she felt. There were so many ways to help. On that first Earth Day, 20 million people took a stand. Some came out to celebrate the environment, while others protested and demanded change. A movement was born. Back at the beach in Santa Barbara, the seabirds and the seals slowly returned. It would take years for their habitat to heal. Before the spill, Sam liked to pretend the oil rigs weren't a part of her favorite place, but now she no longer wanted to look past them. There was still more work to do, and Sam and her friends were just getting started. So I wanted to ask you guys, because Sam worked so hard to make sure that her place could become beautiful again and to make sure that people would listen to her. So I wanted to ask, what could you do to help the earth?
You could make sure the beach doesn't get oiled again.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you could do to make sure your earth stays beautiful and clean? You could recycle. What could you do? You could pick up trash. There's lots you can do. And we're going to talk more about Earth Day today. So thank you so much for coming to listen to my story today.
Thank you, Amelia. This time in our service, we light candles. We call this time our Candles of Community because it's an opportunity for you to come and share any joy or concern that you would like to share with this congregation. We always have 7 candles in the back or in the foyer. So you just take one of those candles and come forward and briefly share your joy or concern and then place it here. If you're ready to do so, do it at this time.
This is a really specific candle of gratitude to Stephen because Thursday night we had CYRE event. We had families making pizza and kids running around, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to make this work. There's so many people that I could thank, but there was on a text chat, and I was with Nancy and Bethany, who also are awesome, and I could thank them 100 times. But we were asked, there was this like, what else do we need? What else do we need? And Stephen chimes in, and Stephen's in the grocery store. So then, of course, he's like walking around we're like, oh, what about this? What about that? Mushrooms, got those. Ice, got that. So this was like that point in the evening, that point right before anything had happened. And then he gets here, he's got like all these bags, and he doesn't sit down for the next 2 hours we were there. We baked like 30 mini pizzas. Every kid and parent had their own pizza, and Stephen baked them all in both ovens were going full blast, 500 degrees, and Stephen stands in there the entire time, and then everybody cleans up. Stephen scrubs pans. Nancy was scrubbing pans too, but like Stephen the whole time, right? And then everybody leaves, takes their kids. Hey, it was wonderful. It was a great event. Had a good time. People stayed around. We were chatting. We were just chatting, right? Stephen scrubbing pans. And then, so Bethany and I are sitting. Everybody finally leaves. My family goes. His family goes. Me and Bethany were talking about some CYRE stuff. And Stephen sits down with us, and I look at him, and the guy looks completely beat, exhausted. And he stays for like another 30 minutes and has a conversation with us about all of these things and how worship can help and all. I mean, it was amazing, right? And so I watch him as he leaves, and he just looked tired. So this is a candle of complete gratitude to this guy for all the work he does. Somebody said complete package at one point. I mean, he was cooking pizzas for children on Thursday night, y'all. And then Michelle, thank you for letting us have him even late. So thanks. This is my
It's Stephen the Pizza Man. We'll definitely put you on the kitchen committee. Watch out. I'm Linda Brennison, and I have a candle of concern on a more somber note. An old-time friend of mine, going all the way back to high school, by the name of Linda Shull Adams, needs positive thoughts. Her hubby fell 2 weeks ago and broke, get this, his other hip. He'd just gotten over the first one, I think. Had a rod and nail put in and is in the best acute rehab center in her area. Hopefully he'll come home next Thursday, so she would like you to please send positive vibes into the universe. She doesn't think she can handle another incident like that. So, for Linda Shull Adams and her husband.
So we'll alternate. This is a candle of joy for the labor movement, especially in the South, especially in Tennessee, and the hope that may it spread. And I guess joy also because according to polls, the positive attitude about unionizing is rising in this country. Unions are now getting more the respect that they deserve. So a candle of joy, let it keep on. Yes.
Good morning. My name is Tom Clements. This is a candle of joy, but mostly it's thank you to the congregation. You'll be aware that in the bulletin all winter long, there's a announcement seeking donations to the winter homeless shelter. They call it the Overflow Shelter now, that's run by Transitions. And I just wanted to give you a 10-second report. You guys gave a ton of stuff this year, and I want to thank Deb Matherly. Deb, she was the best tabler we had, and stuff you donated, we hand it right to the people who need it down at the shelter, which is down by the Riverside Park, down by the canal. And Abigail isn't here, and Chantel. Abigail volunteered quite a number of times, and I think the number, if I'm not mistaken, one night we had 172 clients off the street, but all during the winter it was maybe 125 people or 150 people that would have been sleeping somewhere in a doorway or in the bushes or something. But thank you for your donations. Maybe we'll do it again next year, but Mark emptied his closet, the president of the board, with good pants, trousers. And shirts, and there's a lack of stuff for men, but it was so great to put those clothes right into people's hands that really need them. But thank you very much.
I'm lighting a candle of concern for an American actor known as Cole Gives Plenty. He's an Indigenous American, and he was missing for 5 days and found dead. He had promoted, I believe he was in Flowers of the Killer Moon, and the missing persons reports for Indigenous Americans is horrific, and he's one of many. And when he was found, his hair was cut, which is something that gave him strength and something that he promoted. So this candle is for Cole Gives Plenty.
Last candle that we light is representing those silent joys, those silent concerns that you're holding in this place. I invite you to a few deep breaths of silence to remember everything that's been shared. As we prepare for our offering this morning, a reminder that our Share the Plate recipient for this month is Mercy, the Mental Illness Recovery Center. And so if you would like to contribute, you can do that through this offering or also through our website. Invite our ushers to come and receive our offering.
A couple of notes before I perform this for you. First of all, this is from my 2020 album called Carolina Maze. You may remember that a few things happened in 2020, which is why this has never yet been performed until this moment in an actual live performance setting. So this is a world premiere, technically. The second thing is that some of the language in this song is kind of sharp and pointed and even a little snarky at times. And there's a risk, a certain risk that like all that oil on the Santa Barbara sands all those years ago, this could make everything look kind of black. So just keep in mind that this is painting the problem. It's not to imply that there are not solutions, or even indeed that they're all that necessarily far to seek. We just have to do them. So the kids are all right. Boomers, millennials, X, Y, and Z, busy spending our money in the land of the free. Whether paper or plastic on cash or account, never pausing in our chase for the requisite amount. Each and every generation in a drive to excess, with some getting more and more getting less. A lifetime explosion of the loot in the bag. Humanity and culture worn down to a rag. Plastic in the air, in the water, in the sea. Plastic clothes for you, tons of plastic food for me. Plastic is the future, said the dad from the heights. And the irony has doubled, 'cause it seems that dad was right. The kids are all right. It's their future, the kids are all right. It's truth they seek, the kids are all right. It's their future, the kids are all right. So let them speak, the kids are all right. But trouble's brewing, the kids are all right. So let them march, the kids are all right, except when they're not, when they're wheezing with asthma or their world is too hot, when there's lead in their water and soot in their air, when there's nothing to do or nobody to care, when they're breathing in cancer and breathing out rage, when their American dream is just life in a cage, when their rage coalesces on their own little spot and they live broken-hearted or die of gunshot. The kids are all right. It's their future, the kids are all right. So let them march, the kids are all right. It's their future, the kids are all right. It's truth they seek, carbon in the air, in the water, in the sea. Carbon pumped for you, tons of carbon spilled spewed for me. Carbon is the future, said the dad from the heights. And you know the irony's doubled, 'cause it seems that dad was right. The kids are all right. The kids are all right. So let them march, the kids are all right. But trouble's brewing, the kids are all right. It's truth they seek.
Receive our offering today, symbol of our commitment to our good work. I'd like to thank the Green Committee today. Much of Kevin's song and Amelia sharing, all of these are ideas generated from the Green Committee. All you have to really do is say Earth Day to the Green Committee, and all of a sudden these mass emails come. We are so excited. Sharon Givens, where are you? She's going to come and share the sermon today. No, I'm just kidding. I said it wrong. I'm going to share some things that Sharon shared. That's hard to say. In our sermon today as well. So thank you for all those who on the Green Committee who do such great work year-round here in our sanctuary, in our place. I read a real estate sign a couple of weeks ago that said, made me actually pause and think maybe this is a home we should buy. But it said, this is not a house, just a house, it is a home. That's a pretty good, those of you who are in real estate, just know that made me pause for a second. And then, of course, afterwards, I thought, well, that didn't make sense. But the truth is, we all know on an emotional level what that means to be able to describe a place that we recognize as home to us. I was listening to an NPR broadcast about the philosophical concepts of not only claiming your home as your home, but maintaining that home. One of the guests was Star Hansen, and her role there was to talk about how to declutter your home and become more organized. Don't worry, we'll have some links to that if you're interested. You don't have to ask me after the service. But I did write down some key concepts about this, and I placed it on one of the piles in my office. I am not sure at this moment which pile it's on, but it's on one of the piles in there, and as soon as I find it, I will get that information to you. All of the speakers came from a philosophical concept that your home is an extension of you as a person, as an individual. To not think about your home as something that is a place where you stay or just a commodity for yourself, but to think about your home and a house becoming a home when it becomes an extension of your personhood. And to recognize that you and your home have a symbiotic relationship, that as much as you can organize and help design a home that creates a sense of peace and wholeness in your life, that home returns the favor. And oftentimes your home mirrors what's going on in your life as well. And sometimes the CYRE social hall at the time mirrors the chaos of the pizza oven. And thank you, Jonathan, for sharing that. I had told Bill that the CYRE committee cleaned up. And hoping that I knew I didn't get everything and hoping that Bill would be angry at them. But now he's just looking at me like, oh, you're the one that didn't scrub all the pans right. You're the reason the whole place smelled like onions. But if you think about this concept of home and it being an extension of who we are and defining home as this emotional, symbiotic relationship between ourselves and that, Earth Day is really an opportunity to step back a little bit, pull the camera back and redefine what home is and what home is to all of us. And recognizing that the earth that we are celebrating today is our home. It is home not only to us as human beings walking on this earth, but also home to the interconnected web of existence around us. Home is our earth. And the theme of Earth Day this year raises the alarm that we are in a battle for our very home. The theme of Earth Day is planet versus plastics. So you heard Kevin's first offering about plastics. And as harsh and, what was the word, snarky? Yeah. As the language was around that, it's about to get snarkier. As we look at our relationship with plastics. Kathleen Rogers, who's the president of Earth Day, writes this. She writes, the word environment means what surrounds you. Now, plastics do more than surround us. We have become the product itself. It flows through our bloodstream, adheres to our internal organs, and carries with it heavy metals known to cause cancer and disease. Now this once thought amazing and useful product has become something else, and our health and all the other living creatures around us hang in the balance. She goes on to write that our reliance on plastics could be the biggest gamble in the story of human health and in history, for we are all ingesting and inhaling microplastics every day. They are everywhere. Are we just hoping that they are safe? Or is even the remotest possibility that they might be toxic and terrifying? Can we even contemplate how dangerous this is? Since its invention more than a century ago, plastic has proven an endlessly adaptable building block of modern life. More than half of all the plastic in that 100 years has been produced in the past 15 years. And only about 9% of all the plastic that has been made has been recycled. That means the vast majority of all plastic created is still here, and it's accumulating, piling up in landfills, riverbeds, ocean coast, and flaking into even smaller particles that show up in our food supply and into the falling snow. The next 15 years are probably going to deliver more plastic than the last 15 years. The US in particular, we always lead out in the greatest categories. The US is leading out in the ramping up of the production and investing billions of dollars into the production of plastic. As of February of this year, 343 new plastic production plants and expansions were permitted and planned here in our near future. And you know, since plastics were which were historically made from crude oil, it's really a byproduct now of the use of fossil fuels. And this direct correlation between Black Beach, the story that we saw, and the production of plastics. And one thing that those in the plastic industry, you know, normally when you do a business, you're always looking at demand as one side of, is there a demand? And obviously there is the demand for plastic, but even if there was not as strong a demand for plastic, the one thing that fuels the plastic industry is they know there is plenty of supply. Because if you're in the US and your main source of production comes from the off products, the byproducts of fossil fuels, you know you got a future here. The Green Team, as I shared, has been talking about different things around plastic, and Sharon shared a great article of research. I always like it when someone else does the research for me. It makes the life easier. I can cook pizzas. Sharon shared a great article that when I started reading it, it was describing a man on the beach that was picking up these little pellets of plastic that had been basically lost at sea from one of the shipping containers that had burst open, and all these little pellets of plastic, and they're called nurdles, and we don't really know why they're called nurdles. But I thought, man, that sounds scary. I wonder what beach he's on. And then I read a little further, and he says, I'm in Charleston, off the coast of South Carolina here, picking up these pieces of plastic. And he said every day he goes out, no matter how often he goes out on the beach, he can find as many as he needs, just floating around up onto the beach, little nurdles. So I invite you, when you go to the beach this summer, pick up some nurdles. I don't know what to do with them, but at least pick them up, I guess. In St. James Parish in Louisiana, about an hour northwest of New Orleans, one of the largest plastic companies that's also responsible for a lot of those nurdles that are out in our oceans, Formosa, intends to build a 2,400-acre, $9.4 billion complex this year, subsidized by $1.5 billion in tax breaks, making it the biggest plastic production facility in our country. And you know, after plastic is manufactured, it then presents a new issue. Spillage in the supply chain out there. Formosa has paid In just this year alone, 2024, $50 million for violating state and federal water pollution laws. 1,100 days of violations over the years based on years of data and counting all those nurdles that are out there. Millions of pellets into the bay that wash onto the Gulf of Mexico. And if they're not in the ocean, to get these nurdles that go and become the plastic that is manufactured, to get them onto trucks and trains, they use these hoses that aren't leak-proof. And when a hose connects to the valve, there's still potential for these small particles to get out. Huge sacks that are used to carry the nurdles from place to place can split open easily. And then once they're released, the plastic industry says, well, they're contaminated now and they're not of use to us, so we don't need to collect them. So why are we talking about plastics today? What does it mean that plastics are all around us? Is this really a bad harm to us? Other than filling up our landfills, what could possibly be happening because of all of the plastic production around us? When there's actually evidence that microplastics, smaller than even these nurdles, bioaccumulate in all of our major organs, including our brain. And there's evidence that these nanoplastics can reach the blood-brain barrier. Microplastics have been found in human placentas. Microplastics have been linked to higher rates of infertility. Microplastics have been detected in dairy milk and breast milk. There's evidence that babies ingest more microplastics and microfibers than adults because, specifically crawling around and teething and tasting inanimate objects that are often made of plastic, they inhale 10 times the level of microplastics to that of adults. They come from plastic toys, clothes, furniture, and studies have even shown that there is a higher percentage of microplastics in the air we breathe inside than in the air we breathe outside. Some studies say that babies, because they spend 90% of their time indoors, are susceptible to inhaling and accumulating plastic. These plastics have been associated with a 20% higher rate of childhood cancer overall. And in New Orleans, the place where the plastic facility that is being expanded upon this year, that little area on the New Orleans coast where quite a few plastic facilities are, has been nicknamed Cancer Alley because of the high cancer rate. In 2022, there was a study published by Environmental Pollution 30 across 29 countries and 108 homes, and they found all kinds of microplastics inside the dust samples of homes. Collecting dust, and this is assuming that your house is dusty and ready to be collected. Promise you could do that at our house, no problem. And the dust collected from homes. Polyester made up 9.1% of the dust. Polyamide made 7.7% of the dust. Polyvinyls that are often in floor varnishes made up 5.8% of the dust. Polyurethane, which is often in clothing and furniture, made up 4.4% of the dust. And then the other 3.6 from polyethylene was from containers and reusable plastic bags. Before reading this article, I really thought plastic was a problem of landfills. But it seems in reading the article that Sharon so graciously shared, we have become the landfill. Making me think that so much research and effect on these microplastics in our bodies and in the bodies of animals and in the plant life and in our atmosphere makes me think that the invention and production of plastic may be the most devastating point in our history. So what can we do about it? I agree with Kevin. The news is bleak. The news is snarky. The news is painful to hear. But we are truth-sayers here. But we're also hopeful, and to think about what can we do about it. Earth Day has committed itself in the celebrations all around the world tomorrow to reduce plastic production. Earth Day's initiative is called the 60-40 campaign. 60% of reduction of plastic production by the year 2040. And so it's come down to a choice for us here. Oftentimes, Earth Day celebrations here are so powerful and meaningful and connected. We leave connected to the earth. And I realize that I just about ended my sermon saying we have become a landfill. And I don't mean to be a person that doesn't want to celebrate Earth Day, but Earth Day was created, as Amelia's shared the book, Earth Day was created to address problems all around us. And if we don't address this problem around us, survival is in the balance. So it's come down to a choice. And I love the theme of Earth Day. Choose the planet or choose the convenience in our lives of plastic. The convenience of plastic and the well-being and survival of our planet. Study after study continues to reveal a very disturbing prognosis that if current practices continue and are unabated, we will have increases in hormonal illnesses, cancers, cardiovascular system damage, all related to plastic production and consumption. However grim this scenario, it is not predestined. We have the ability to do something about it. We possess the power to steer our collective future away from this impending crisis. But we have to make a decision as individuals here today, and we have to make a decision as a spiritual community that says we lead the way on issues just like this. We have to make a decision to choose our home.
Our closing hymn is number 1064, Blue Boat Home. It's in your teal hymnal. I invite you to stand as you're willing and able to join in singing.
Though below me I feel
I apologize again for the grim sermon, but remember Sharon Givens. Find her afterwards and say, why did you share that with him? Sorry, Sharon. I'll stand with you. There are some things that we can do. Obviously, our Green Committee is working really hard, but you can also personally go on the Earth Day website and sign a treaty that is calling on the United Nations and governmental organizations to commit to this 60-40 reduction. And our closing words, I just want to read that treaty. This treaty says that we support a highly ambitious global plastic treaty that reduces by 60% all fuel-based plastic production by the year 2040. And for those who are producing plastics to be liable for the cost of environmental and health-related damages. That we also create a public and private sector investments in innovation to replace all those fossil fuel-based plastics. To ban all plastic-related tobacco products, including but not limited to e-cigarettes and tobacco filters. To ban the export of plastic waste. To end the incineration of plastic waste. To support innovation and solutions to plastics in all sectors, and to fully finance education and public awareness campaigns to inform the public about reasons and strategies for choosing our home and ending plastic pollution.
I invite you to join in singing our congregational benediction.
Big thanks again to all the Green Committee and their help for adding things to this service today. Thank you, Anna, as always, for the beautiful music and reminding us with our opening song of our future with all these little ones singing about the mountains. To those who are guests here, invite you to stick around, give us a chance to get to know you, and for us to get to know you as well and maybe unlapse you. You never know what can happen, or further lapse you. We really have the potential to do either here. So, is there any direction around? We do have a budget presentation meeting. Any direction I need to share about that? Okay, in here in the sanctuary. Okay. All right. Okay, so take some time, spend some time out in the social hall. Then at 12:30, we will gather up here for our budget presentation. Thanks.
Right chord this time. Thank you. Thank you.